So I think the first thing I always look for when I'm looking for a tenant is great communication, because great communication is the basis for solving any problems. If you can communicate with someone, you can work with them and you can solve an issue. So I focus on that right from the beginning of looking for my tenant. So we do bits at the beginning when we're looking for a tenant to make sure that they text us, they email us, they pick up the phone. And once you've got a good communicator in one of your properties, you can solve an issue. So if you've got a tenant who's got damp and mould, generally they're not quick fixes. You're not going to walk in, it's not like fixing a tap. You're not going to fix it overnight and it's all okay. Generally, dealing with damp and mould is something you'll do over a period of time, and so you need to be able to communicate with that tenant. You need them to be able to send you pictures, to be able to give you updates, to be able to allow you to have access. So that's where communication is absolutely at the basis of everything that you're doing with your tenant. So for me, it's really important that you pair the right type of tenant to the right property that you've got. If I've got an old Victorian property that needs maybe a little bit more TLC, to put in a young couple that have never lived in a property on their own before, it's their first home, I'm setting them up to fail. So you need to really think about the type of tenant you've got to the property that you're matching them to. It's really important that you look and you understand their lifestyle as well, and how is their lifestyle going to fit the property they've got. Are they working from home? How many spare bedrooms do they need? How many people have you got living in there? We have a set process that we work through, and that's just to make sure that all tenants are treated in the same way, that they're all treated fairly and they all have access to the same information. Once they report a problem with damp or mould, we'll ask for pictures so that we can see the extent, and we'll also then give them some additional education around, well, what type of damp and mould is it? And a lot of the time, as I said in my presentation, the tenants will come to you and say, oh, actually, Joanne, I think we've got damp that's bridging the damp course, because the education we've given them allows them to be able to diagnose actually what's going on in their property. I believe that property visits are absolutely key to making sure that your tenant is happy and healthy in their home, and that also we're spotting any problems ahead of time. So we will do a property visit first of all at 4 months, so the tenant's had 4 months to settle into the property, and if there are any sort of teething issues we can catch them early, and from there on we will do a property visit every 6 months. You have a lot of tenants who will have an issue and actually they don't want to report it to you, they're really scared, but we all know as landlords a small issue caught early is an easy fix. A small leak maybe. A small leak left for a few months becomes a ceiling falling down, becomes carpet ruined, becomes replastering. So for us, doing those property visits every 6 months, we can go round and look, and the tenant will say, oh, I haven't reported that, and we'll say, no, we'll report that, we want to come and fix it, because we stop it becoming a bigger issue. So by not doing your property visits, you miss those opportunities. So you are generally going to get back a property in much worse condition than if you were doing your PVs every 6 months. Communication is everything. I will pick a tenant that has great communication skills over everything else, because it is the basis of having a good business relationship with somebody, being able to solve issues with somebody, and having a property that is kept in good condition, both for you and for the tenant.